Welcome to part 3 of the Multicam PiP OBS PowerPoint tutorial. Part 1 was setting up the OBS scenes in the live stream computer. Part 2 was setting up the PowerPoint computer and confidence monitor. This third part and final part will be setting up Touch Portal to control everything. Touch Portal is a program that runs on your computer and your phone that allows you to push a button on your phone and have multiple things happen. It's a Stream Deck alternative. There is a free version available that is limited to a 4x2 button per page, and you can only have 2 pages. However, right now, to unlock the full version, it's only $12.99 US. And in my opinion, it's well worth it. So without further ado, let's get started. One prerequisite for Touch Portal is that you need to have Java installed. So let's go to java.com and download Java. It's right here, the Java download button. So we just need to click on that, agree to the terms, and start the download. And once it's finished, then we can run the installation program. It's very easy to install. It's just a standard installation program. So I think it's done. Okay, and then we say yes. And then we just click the install button, and it will install Java. A lot of programs will run with Java, so Touch Portal is one of them, and so once you have it installed, then we can go and install Touch Portal. So we will see if I don't think we need to restart the computer after Java is installed. We'll find out in a second. Oh yes, sometimes Java will push out updates, and I recommend that when it does so that you will update the Java when it does so. It's just warning you that that will happen. So that's good. Okay, no, we don't have to restart the computer on that. So now we can go to Touch Portal. So let's go to Touch Portal here. Touch Portal is as I mentioned, it's a program that lives on your computer and also on your phone. And then let's just show you basically what it is. So it has buttons that are on your phone, and when you push the button on the phone, it communicates to the companion program on your computer, and it will the program on your computer is what you use to actually set up all of the different actions in order to do whatever you want to happen when the button on your phone is pushed. And so when you have the full version, then you can do as many buttons as you want, as many different pages, etc. And so here it has the many different things that it will work with. So you can basically set keyboard shortcuts, so it'd be like typing different things, controlling programs by sending keys to the different programs, so you can control programs that way. Then it's got integration directly with OBS, which is the one that I basically use a lot. Then if you use Streamlabs OBS Windows only, you can control Streamlabs OBS as well. Then if you use XSplit, it has XSplit integration. Twitch to if you use Twitch, then you can go and send different streams to Twitch and start the stream, stop the stream, and control your Twitch stream from that. Also direct messages and other things coming out. Twitter, you can use integration with Twitter to send tweets and things like that and respond to tweets, etc. Then you can also control your key lights with it as well. Then you can control Windows functions, Mac functions, SoundPad. I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with SoundPad. And then here with HTTP, you can basically go and make pull in website pages and send different things out to different websites. IFTT is a great site to be able to go and control many different things, and so you can use advanced integration with that to control a whole bunch of things for home automation and other things like that. And you have other things with Logic as well. Plus there are other integrated services such as Spotify, control your music. Voicemeeter, I also use Voicemeeter. I haven't really used any integration with Touch Portal on that, but you can control certain aspects of Voicemeeter through Touch Portal as well. Windows Essentials, more control over Windows. LifeX is a type of light that you can use. So just a whole bunch of different integrations that you can control with Touch Portal. So let's just go through here. Basically what I'll show you is the process of what you need to do to get started with it. So we're going to be downloading the program that goes on the computer, the Windows or Mac. Then we're going to download the one that goes on your Android or iOS. And then we're going to connect the two of them together. And then finally, once we've got those connected together, I will show you how to use the program on the computer to define all of the buttons that you want to do. In fact, I will just show you. I've already got some buttons defined on here because I've got this. I've already defined some buttons here. So this is Touch Portal already defined, and I've got buttons that I've set up in order to, these are some buttons that I've got set up for controlling. This is just ones that I've set up in order to run tutorials and things like that. So I've got a button here. See the button that's over here in the blue is to switch to my full screen, which shows myself. And then this button over here, it says desktop, and that will basically show my computer screen. And so basically I've set those buttons up. And then this one right here, the picture-in-picture button, that will allow me to go back to my desktop. I'll go back to my desktop and I can hit the picture-in-picture button and then turn off my picture-in-picture down at the corner. And so I've set up Touch Portal in order to do a good control OBS for the tutorials here. So let me just go back. There is one more thing there. This button right here will start and stop my recording after I am finished with the tutorial. So let's just go back to the desktop, and then we'll continue on with installing the Touch Portal software. So we'll just let's go back up to the top, and we'll go to download, and then this is the Windows computer, so we're going to click download for the Windows computer, and hopefully it will download fairly quickly. It takes a little bit of time to download, but we will see. Hopefully once it's downloaded it will work. I will maybe download it on my phone while it's downloading, so that we won't waste any time here. So this is how to install Touch Portal on Android. Basically, you just need to go to the Play Store. Then up at the top, you're going to search for Touch Portal. And then in Touch Portal, you just click the install button. So it's very simple, normal way of installing. And Touch Portal the free version has a limitation of 2 rows of 4 buttons on the page, and if you get the full version of the program, it costs $17, and then you get unlimited number of pages and unlimited number of buttons that can be on the page. I think it's very well worth it. Okay, that's downloaded, so now we can install Touch Portal. So we just click on the Touch Portal setup program, and then we can hit the yes button and accept the agreement. Next, and say yes, because I've already installed it before, but we'll just say next, and next, install. So once we have it set up properly on both computers, or on the computer and the phone, then we can start setting up the actual buttons in the computer program. So you set things up on the Touch Portal on the computer. So we'll see. We have to restart the computer, so we will continue once that is finished. Okay, after the computer has restarted, Touch Portal automatically has started back up, and the first thing that it says is that we need to make sure that Touch Portal can access the network. In order to do that, we need to make sure that the firewall on the computer has a rule for that, and because it is using Java, we need to make sure that Java is allowing access for the Java programs. And so this dialog box is just saying that we need to go in and check, making sure that any of the Java programs are accessing the firewall settings. So we can just do that. So we'll just type in firewall. So firewall and network protection. And then we can scroll down here where it talks about allow apps through the firewall. We click on that. And then we want to click change settings. And then we can scroll through the list here and find Java and make sure that all of the Java ones have both public and private so here are all the ones that are Java, and it looks like all of them do have, yes, all of them do have both access to the private and public network. So that's fine. We don't actually have to make any changes on that. So we'll just click OK on that. So we're good to go, and we'll just close this down, and we're OK on that. So I will just start up. Now that it's installed, we can just start up the program there, and you can see that it's already connected to the version of the one that's running on the computer. So once you have that, I'll actually show you the setting here. If you click on settings, it will automatically, the first time you do it, it will go through the setup wizard here, and it tells you that you need to have everything installed to make a connection to the computer. So you need to first install the software on your computer, make sure that that is done, and then after that it warns you about safety of the screen. Then it will scan for the companion on the computer, and when it found it, it said it's found. So then you just click finish. So Touch Portal actually lives in the taskbar right over here under the Touch Portal icon there. So if we just double click on that, then we get access to the main screen there. So this is what the Touch Portal screen looks like. I've actually seen has buttons already set up because I've already used the Touch Portal before, so it keeps the settings from installing things. But I just wanted to make sure that I walked through the installation process and setting up all the firewall stuff for you guys so that you can understand how you need to do. So the initial page that loads up when you first start up, the default page that you cannot change is called main. And then if you have the free one, then you can create one other page called main. You can create new pages by clicking new, and then you can call it whatever you want. Test new page, and you can click OK, and that'll create a new page. And as I said, the default is a four in a row and 2 rows. And so when you have the free version, you're going to get 2 pages of a 4x2 page. So again, it's nice to be able to have, for the $12.99, the unlimited number of pages there. If you wanted to change the number of buttons that show up on the page, over here the page settings with the grid. Right now it's got 4 by 2, and if I were to just up that, I can make it 5 by 2. Oh, I am not connected to it, so I need to go pro. If I were connected with my phone, then it would tell me. So right now you can actually use the program to set up the buttons, but it's not going to let you actually use that until you actually go in and purchase the upgrade program, but you can still set up the definition of the button. So you can click on that, and once you do that, then you can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. And then again, you can set 3 rows if you wanted to. And so then now I have 3 rows of buttons there. And so I will just show you how you can actually go in and define what these buttons are. There aren't any actual button definitions on these. I've just set up the grid for all of the buttons. And if you want to actually define what the button is, you would just click on one of the empty spaces, and it will then take you into the button settings. So in the button settings, you have 3 different tabs. You have on press, which will allow you to, when you press the button, you can use the actions that are here to, remember I talked about the different integrations that they have with OBS, with Windows, with other utilities. So all of the actions that are available are on the left here. So this is the add actions. And so let's just do a sample button. So on the right is the button settings. So let's just call this test button. And then let's go into, here's the OBS actions. And so let's just set a scene. So here we click the set scene, and then that's the other thing I forgot. We need to have the WebSockets set up for OBS. So let's just go there. I already have it set up, but I will just show you exactly where you need to go to get that set up. I'll leave a link in the description for that. So you just need to go to OBS WebSocket, and this is the page on the OBS forums in order to download that. And so once you go to this page, you can go to download, and this is the page on the GitHub repository. And down at the bottom here, you would then just, depending on the version of OBS that you're running, whether it's going to be on the Mac or the Windows or on Linux, you would just download the appropriate version. Now you need to make sure that OBS is not running when you run this. So you would just download the appropriate one. I've already done that, and so it's going to work properly. So I will just, it's just got an install program. You know what, let's just do it just for fun. So it's a quick download, and then you just run it. Windows protected your PC, you click more info, click run anyways. and we say yes, and then we click next, and then we click install, and that's it. It's a very simple install to install the Websocket plugin on that. Okay, then once that's installed, then we can start OBS. And we'll just close down the stream effects. Configure password. No, we don't need to configure that. We can configure server password later. Okay, so you can go under tools here, and you can see WebSocket settings here. And so by default, it's going to be running on your local machine under 4444, under that port. And then if you wanted to enable a password, you can click on the checkbox here and then set a password. That's fine. So now that OBS is running, then we can just go back to Touch Portal and make sure that Touch Portal is connected to OBS. So let's just close this down for right now. And Touch Portal says right now it's not connected, and so you can click on the plugin button there, and then you can click connect to OBS. And then it should have connected to OBS. So if we go back here, and let's just go back and let's go and connect again to our test button. And then we want to go and add our scene again. OBS, we want to set our scene. And this time, look, we see that we have all of our scenes that we can select from. So we just want to select a scene. Let's set our sound booth scene. So you can see basically, if you see right here, all of these scenes here are showing up in the list of these scenes there. So we just can select that there. So that's how you can basically select what an action would happen on the press event when you actually press the test button on the phone. It's going to set the sound booth scene. Now you could also do a whole bunch of stuff. You could set the sound booth scene. You could also, there's other OBS actions that you could do. You could say, let's set the volume for a certain scene. We could, for the source, we can set the volume to a certain level. Let's make this a little larger. And we can set it by percentage, etc. So you can actually do multiple actions at the same time on that. So I'm just going to delete this action there. But you can go ahead and set up multiple actions. You could even do certain things, like you could combine actions from a Windows key, or sending a key combination, or going out, and as I mentioned before, like sending out a web request to something else, to Twitter, to IFTT. You could tweet out that when you press this button, it's going to set the sound booth scene and send out a tweet that you're now live. So the sky's the limit for anything on that. So that's basically what you need to do once you combine your actions on that. Then the other thing for the buttons is you can set events. Events allow Touch Portal to control and respond to things that are external from Touch Portal, or for instance, when the if the scene in OBS gets changed to a different scene, then Touch Portal can be notified of that, and we can do things like change the background of the button in order to know. That's how basically I set up my buttons, so that I can know which scene is the currently selected scene for my tutorial buttons, or for the buttons that we run at the church. So someone who is like, we don't have to actually be watching the actual OBS program to see what is the current active scene. Touch Portal knows what is there if you set up the on event tabs. So in order to set that up, you would go through, again, this is the on event. These events are all in green, and so you want to see on scene selected. So if we click on scene selected, so it says when the OBS scene is, and then we click change to, let's see, sound booth. Let's find sound booth. Then we want to do something, and we could actually do a different action if we wanted to inside here, or I like to change the visuals of the button. And so visuals are actions in here. So under the visual tab, here it says change button visuals. So we click on this, and then we can change the settings of the visual. And so what I like to do is basically go in and change the background color to a different color. Let's make it red. And then I like to hit sync, because you can actually change it to a gradient by doing different multiple colors, and then you can change the background direction using this as well. So there's multiple different ways of changing the visuals of the button, but I usually like to just change it to a single color. So you can change the one color, then press the sync button, and then it'll change to the same color on that. And so once you do that, then you can click add that, and then you will see, so when the sound booth scene is active, then this test button is going to have a red background. And so the other thing that I like to do is do the opposite to switch it back to a transparent background. So if you click on the action and then click on the condition of when it will apply it, and then you right click on it, then go copy all, then you can right click and paste all, then you can see when the OBS action scene is not sound booth, then we're going to, if we right click on this action, then we go to edit, and then we can just take this off, and then we're going to change the background transparency to transparent background. And so that's going to basically set up the scene so that when the sound booth scene is on, it's going to be red. When the sound booth scene is not on, it's going to be transparent. And so that gives a visual indication of what is the current active scene. So we click save, and there we go. So then on the actual phone, if I will show in at the end the demo of how the buttons will actually respond on the phone. So that's basically how you will set up buttons. So I will now actually, I'll just go and delete this page here because I don't want to keep this around. Let's see here. So I will show you how the page was set up for the church with the picture-in-picture page. So this is the system at the church, and this is the page that has all of the PowerPoint screens set up for the multiple scenes, multiple camera angles that we use, plus the buttons to control the position of the picture-in-picture. You'll also see I have OBS running as well here. If you remember, we have the final scene that is always going to be the main scene that we never move from there. Just as a quick refresher, the final scene has the picture-in-picture there, and then underneath that is the PowerPoint presentation, and the picture-in-picture scene can be moved from top left to top right, bottom left to bottom right, or it can be full screen or hidden. And so again, that was done using the Move Transition plugin in OBS, using the filters that are on the scene here. So if we see those, again, I can just show you activating it by just clicking on the filter here. So you click on that and it'll move it to the appropriate filter that you're clicking on there. And you can click on full screen and it will full screen. So remembering how that works. So we will close that, and then I will just show you how we set the buttons up for Touch Portal. So in Touch Portal, I will show you, we have these 4 scenes are again for the camera angles. So we had 4 different cameras, and we click on the sound booth camera. Sound booth camera is a wide angle from the back of the sanctuary at the sound booth, and I will show you how that camera is. So the first action on when you press the button is you're going to activate the scene collection called PowerPoint. Then we're going to activate the scene called Final. And then what we do is we show the sound booth scene and hide all of the other scenes in the picture-in-picture scene. So remember, again, back here, we have our picture-in-picture, which is this rectangle that is sized appropriately. And this is actually this picture-in-picture scene. So we switch to that scene, and we have all of the different sources that are here, right? And so what Touch Portal does, and this is the key in order to switch the appropriate camera on or off, by showing the appropriate camera. So we show the sound booth camera and hide all of the other cameras. Okay? So if you had 2 cameras, you would show the one and hide the other. If you had 3 cameras, you would show the one camera and hide the other 2, etc. So depending on the number of cameras, then you can have as many cameras. You would just show the one and hide all the others. So that is how that is done. So that's the way that you can use Touch Portal to change the camera angle. So if you go now, what you can do once you've got one camera angle scene button set up, you can right click on that scene and you can copy the button. And then you can go to a empty spot and you can right click on it and you can paste the button. And that will make a copy of that. And then you can just go in here and then you can basically go in, let's just copy this and we'll do new button. Let's call it new camera. And so this would be another camera. And so in here, I would show the source for that new camera, and then I would hide all of the other cameras, just like you would for all of the other cameras. So I hope you get how that all works there. So we'll just cancel that and we'll just delete this button, because we don't need that there. So I will just go through and just show you exactly what I did. So I just copied the original button once I have that pattern in place, and then I just modify, changing the name of the button to the appropriate camera that I want to control with that, and then making sure that I'm showing that appropriate source and hiding all the others on that. So that would be the sound booth close-up camera, which is again a camera at the back that we have a good zoom on that allows us to take good close-up shots from the back. Then this camera is a camera that is at the left of the stage. And so it's another source, which this is actually coming in through NDI through our network. And again, it's the same type of thing. You just name the button appropriately and then show the appropriate source and hide all the others. And finally, the stage right camera again is another NDI camera. That is on the right side, or actually it's in the center of the stage, up at the front, and again, name the camera appropriately, show the appropriate one, and then hide the rest. And so once you do that, you have all of the cameras. You could also, if you had more, you could increase the number of buttons there. Then the other thing that you would do, the other thing I forgot to mention, the on event I set up so that when the source is visible, then it's going to actually do the change how the button looks so that you can see exactly on the tablet or on the phone what is the actual active camera. So I like to do that, otherwise you can't really tell potentially which camera is active. So that's a nice way of looking at that because of the way that Touch Portal can handle bidirectional feedback on that. So once you set that up, again, set up your initial button with both the on press and the event, and then when you copy the buttons, you can go in and you can set up the settings for the action and the event to make sure that you're going to be changing the sources for all of this stuff so that the buttons work properly when you are going to be copying the buttons to control each of the different cameras that you have. So that's how the buttons are set up there. Then the other buttons that are on the screen here are to be able to change the position of the picture-in-picture from top left, top right, bottom left to bottom right, full screen, or none, so that none would basically just show only the PowerPoint. So I will show you again how that works. This one doesn't actually have any on event on that. I'm not sure how I would be able to change the visuals for whether or not it was which picture-in-picture position was the currently active one on that. I don't know if there's a way to do that. I didn't have a chance to research that, but you can basically, people can see from the preview, we use multi-view preview, and people can kind of see where the picture-in-picture actually kind of is, so they can just look at that to see where that is. But the actual action that will trigger moving the picture-in-picture is on the actual scene. You're going to activate the filter called top left. And so you basically, I'll just delete this here. And then it's in here under OBS. You want to set the scene filter, set the source filter for the final scene. Oh, I'm sorry, it is, that's right, it's the scene filter because it's on the scene, right? So if you look at the, in here, you're looking at the filters on the scene. You've got scene filters here, and so you go here and you set the scene filter on the final scene. Set the filter of top left. This is, again, there's icons here, top left to on. Okay, so you set that. I'll actually show you, you can see, you can change the icon of the, this is actually
an icon instead of just the text. If you look at the text here, there's no button text there because we're just representing the button with just an icon. So you can just click here, change the icon, and you can use any icon that you want, but it's also got icon pack. So you can click from icon pack, and there's a icon pack called cam position, and then you can basically just choose, this is the top left one there, which is this one here. So you just click on that one there and then click OK, and that is the icon that represents the top left there. And so you just do that, and then again I just copied this button and pasted it in, and then changed the icon to the top right and changed the scene filter to top right. So change the icon, change the filter to top right. Here, change the icon, change the filter name to bottom left. Here, change the icon, change the filter to bottom right. This one here, change the icon, change the filter to full screen. So that is how that was done. The none filter is a little different. There wasn't a I changed the icon to one that just didn't have anything. I also put the word none there because it didn't look like there was anything there. I just wanted to make sure that it was very explicit on that. Then the other thing for the none is the actions for none is you need to hide all of the sources. And so to hide all of the sources, you just basically toggle all of the sources there. Actually, I think it'd be better to just hide all of the sources. So that they are all hidden. So none of the cameras would show up there. And once you do that, then the only camera that, the only thing that would be left visible on the scene would be the PowerPoint. So you would see that camera would be gone, the picture-in-picture would be gone, and it would just be the PowerPoint. So that's how the none works. So I think I will now just show you, set up a local version of how it all works, and we'll just show you everything working locally with the sample scenes of the cameras that are just the different colors that I can show you with the buttons with touch portal, and I can show you exactly the final version of that, how that actually works.
You can see the final presentation. You can see on the left here we have the tablet with all of the buttons that are set up to control the different camera angles, plus all of the different picture-in-picture angles. And then you can see how OBS is actually set up. So right now we have the picture-in-picture at the top left with the camera as the green camera. I'll just show you as I click through the different cameras. Remember, I will showed you the different cameras are just represented by the different colors there. So I'll just switch through those. So we have the sound booth as the green one. We have the sound booth close-up as the red one, the stage left as the blue one, the stage right as the yellow one from the very first video there. And then we can click on the buttons there. For right now it's in the top left, and if we press the button for moving over to the top right, we can make it go there. Then we can press the bottom left and it will go there, and finally the bottom right, and those buttons all work there. And finally this last one here for the full screen, it will go all full screen. And again, we can change any of the camera angles at any point in time to switch between the different cameras, and then we can switch to any of the different picture-in-picture ones as you go ahead and turn off the camera if we want as well. Turn it back on. And so with all of these buttons set up, we can have a very versatile presentation with PowerPoint going on in the background, changing the scene to a different PowerPoint scene by the person who does the presentation from the front. So that's how everything all works together. So that concludes the Multicam picture-in-picture OBS PowerPoint tutorial. I hope you found it useful, and I hope that you will be able to use that in your presentations, that guest speakers will come, and that the message will go out. If you have any questions, please feel free to put any comments in any of the tutorial parts there, and just let me know, and hopefully I can answer any of the parts that you don't understand. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again soon.